I might do it for the culture.
Hi, welcome to For the Culture Canada. I'm your host, Deepak Batty, and today I have a really special a really special guest that I've been wanting to have on this show. And so this is actually a person that's had quite a big impact on the community. I've seen their apparel all over the place for many years, and I'm quite excited to kind of pick her brain and get to know what it's all about and what the overall plan of all this is. I'm, of course, talking about Jaclyn of Okanagan Lifestyle. Thank you so much for being part of the show. I appreciate your time.
Oh, the pleasure is entirely mine. And you weren't wrong at the beginning. You are a very special host.
You're too much. You're too much. But you're great though. Anyway, thank you so much for being a part of the show here. Like I said, I've been seeing your apparel just like all over the place for quite a few years now. So it's really cool to finally get to sit down with you and ask you just kind of all about your brand and where it started from and everything like that. I was doing a little bit of research here. It started with you. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but Marco Luopa?
Marku, yes.
Marku, okay. Yeah, do you mind diving into that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So the birth of the brand was a partnership. Absolutely. We were co-partners for about, oh my goodness, testing my brain here, 2.5, maybe 3 years. And we together did such a fantastic job of laying the groundwork of the brand and beginning to build the foundation of Okanagan Lifestyle apparel. And a shift with that was the entrance of my first son, really and truly. When he was born in 2016, that really shifted my vision for my life personally, but also for what we were building with the brand and how I wanted the brand to be in service for the community. It's a long and I think wonderful story, but our son was actually born 2 months premature at the KGH hospital. And so we spent the first 6 weeks of his life living out of the intensive care. And the doctors and nurses, this is relevant very much to the times that we're in right now, because those workers, the doctors and the nurses, really showed me what it meant to truly be in service to a community. And so because of that, my vision, it changed me very much so. And it changed my vision for my life, like I said, and for the brand. And so that was kind of the shifting point where we took the business over and shifted it more to a model of how can we utilize this business that we've created and the platform that we have to be in service to the community in ways that are meaningful to us, in ways that are contributing to the community in, building a place that we're going to be proud to raise our family in. And so with the projects that we do and the events that we're a part of, we really sit in that and ask ourselves that question of, is this conducive to building a community that we're proud to live in ourselves, and a community or products that we're proud to leave behind for the next generation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
It does. And what I've noticed is that it's really obvious to me that this obviously comes from a really deep place of gratitude from yourself, the work that you want to do for the community, right? And you have a lot of charity work that your brand has helped work with, right? You were working with the KGH Foundation, Giving Giggles campaign, Joanna's House, and Mamas for Mamas seems to be a really big one for you as well here.
It absolutely is. Yes. Yeah. I sit on the board of Mamas for Mamas very proudly. And Shannon Christensen, who's the executive director, is a powerhouse in the non-for-profit world, and her vision for the Mamas for Mamas charity, not only within our community, but nationwide, expanding chapters all throughout Canada, and all that she is kind of pioneering in the space of just connecting people who are, facing poverty or who have challenges. And it's really and truly been another kind of hat that I wear that has also widened my lens and my perspective, akin to, living out of the intensive care when our son was born. It's, it's like a snowball. the more people I get to sit and have conversations with, each person I take a little bit of inspiration away from. And I I say to so many people, I feel as though we're not building this brand alone at all. This brand belongs to the community, and it's being built very much and being shaped by the community and by the people that we work with and collaborate with, including, all of the designers and artists and creatives who've touched it at any one point in time from the beginning until now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can see that,
Yeah.
especially with the logo. The logo is very clean, by the way. Who came up with that idea or the design of it?
For which logo are you referring to? We have a
The
few
Four
different
Seasons.
classic of the
Four
four
Seasons.
icons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Marku and I sat down and, well, I mean, that was one that was a part of the brand from the very beginning. And he kind of came to me and had four icons, and I had some ideas of how to kind of sharpen them up and tighten them up a little bit. And we changed a few things around and some spacing, and yeah, and it's been a pillar.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool because it's quite timeless, right? Given how clean
Yeah.
it looks. I don't think I've ever really seen a logo that represents the area as well as yours does. Just because it is so timeless looking and so clean. It could go on for, say, another 5 years and it would still be in, you know what I mean? Which I really like about it. Now, I wanted to also ask you, what's it like for you to become a mom? What has that experience been like for you?
Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting that question, but I appreciate you asking that. It is, oh my goodness, I have words for miles on this topic. It is, I have such an appetite for motherhood. I love, becoming a mom has been so many things, especially, running a business and at the same time, and then navigating through, it's a little bit of an identity change for sure, entering into motherhood. And I adore it, and it has its challenges and it has its joys. And I just, really try to stick myself as often as possible to the joyous moments and to keeping my eyes and ears wide open to their growing so as not to miss it. And I in terms of the brand, I really sit back and think about, the growth of the business and how quickly we have chosen very consciously to grow or not to grow, so that I'm not missing out on that, this unique season of life that is, watching my boys grow. And when we first started this business, I had no babies. And now here we are, we're almost July 1st, we'll be 6 years in, and I have two boys under the age of 4, and they are so much my muses and my inspiration. And so getting to build this alongside, watching them grow has been one of the greatest joys of my life. And yeah, so that's a little, very tiny insight into how it is. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I've always been a person that's loved kids. I honestly, I'm so looking forward to the day that I have grandkids, let alone my own kids. I have very little cousins that are about 4 years old that run around, and I just love playing with them all the time. And yeah, that's super awesome. I'm honestly kind of jealous, but I'm just not at that place yet where I want to have kids just yet. But yeah, that's super cool. I love hearing about that.
Oh, well, come by the workshop anytime. They make their appearances in here for sure, and they're so kind of like their mama. They're people powered, so they love being around people and community. And yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool. Do you ever make custom apparel for your kids at all?
A few times we have, but often it gets sticky because we'll be out wearing it, or they'll be in the shop, and then people ask, "Oh, how do I get my hands on one of those?" And I don't like saying, "Oh, well, we just made this just for our family, not open it up to the whole community." But
Right.
youth apparel and kids apparel is very much its own beast. And so we haven't dove into that too much. We do a few youth items, but mostly we stick to adult, or have thus far anyway.
Yeah, I've seen that. And you've expanded
Yeah.
your line of products to a lot of different things, right? Like toques. You even have a paddleboard. mugs, all sorts of different things. Where do you usually get your inspiration from for what kind of items you're looking for?
That's a great question. The lifestyle, really and truly, it is how we live our days and what is going to add value to our life as we're adventuring here in all seasons. And so I really and truly feel like we're just beginning in our product offering. We've set the foundation of the design and our location, our new downtown location in the cultural district. And we're working on some really neat things right now in the background that we're quite excited about. But yeah, the diversity is coming in what we're offering because we really have sat with, since we've had some extra time on our hands, having our schedule wiped clean with COVID,
Yeah.
we have really taken the opportunity to sit with observing our lifestyles and observing the adventures of our team and our close family and friends, and thinking about, okay, what products are going to add value to the lives of those in our community right now, and sticking within our vision to keep everything extremely high quality and supporting people who supporting handmade and local when we can, but then also just that, like, we've always only worked with kind of tier one manufacturers and things that are really important on the ethics side of things, which is very much easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get it. And I know that your apparel is WRAP certified, right? For
Mhm.
those of you that don't know, WRAP is a nonprofit and independent organization dedicated to promoting lawful, ethical, and safe manufacturing all over the world. And they're also the largest certification program for textile as well, which I really commend you on that one, just because I've been having this kind of personal dilemma of, like, going after fast fashion, or should I go thrifting for my clothing, and just kind of like that kind of thing, right? So to know that your clothing definitely falls under the ethical part of clothing and fashion and all that kind of stuff means a lot to me as a consumer. So I really think that's awesome.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of the whole kind of COVID thing, how has COVID affected your business?
Oh my goodness. Another great question. Well, I don't think there's I don't think there's any area of the business that it hasn't touched, to be honest. In every sense, our operation, having just built out our beautiful downtown workspace on Cannery Lane here, and getting in a flow with that, and now having to shut the doors to public, that one stung a bit, because
Hmm.
we're people powered, so it's tough not to be able to welcome people into a space that we envisioned kind of always having community members in it, and always having um, creatives flowing in and out. But to be entirely candid, we've been working in that e-commerce space and with our website for 5 years. So we were very set up and well versed in kind of that online shifting online. So that came fairly naturally to us. And I mean, there's so much out of our control in terms of shutting down. It was really a no-brainer for us to do that really early on and take responsibility for keeping our community safe. And we're so grateful for the support we've received from the community on, we're really feeling that wave of and the momentum of support local in a big way right now. And we have a unique lens in that we, at the start of this, launched a campaign, a gift card marketplace on our online shop that includes 60 community partners, or local businesses, and everything from local restaurants to gyms and spin studios, bar studios, um, that we kind of pulled into our little corner of the internet. And so when people are shopping our goods, they can also shop these electronic gift cards, which is kind of the safest way to go about things right now. I know we're starting to open up a little bit now, but we have gotten such a unique opportunity to see people purchasing those gift cards and that wave of support local, especially within the Okanagan community, has really, in my opinion, never been more alive. And so we've been able to give, I think we're almost at $18,000. We've been able to put back into local small business through that gift card program alone. Um,
Wow.
so not only through people shopping our goods, but also through coming into our online space and shopping and putting money into the pockets of these other local businesses through our avenues has been really and truly inspiring in a way that we couldn't have anticipated.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's a really clever idea.
Oh, thank you. That one actually came to me when I was, our youngest son ended up in the hospital right as COVID was breaking. And I was laying in a hospital crib with him on the pediatric ward when I thought of that one.
Wow.
So there's something about the KGH hospital and being admitted in there that really inspires me.
No kidding. It's funny where inspiration hits.
My goodness, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Speaking of like helping out local support and everything like that, where has that really come from? I mean, where did the whole sort of like supporting local really come from for you? Was it from just growing up here, or?
I would say that's kind of something that's always been innately ingrained in me. I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. My dad was a business owner, so I feel like I grew up seeing what it meant to him to have people support him and his business,
Right.
and how much that meant to him personally, and then how it trickled into our whole family.
Yeah.
He was a home builder. So yeah, I think probably just from my upbringing, but yeah, it just makes so much logical sense to me to support, our neighbors and our creatives and people who travel alongside us in life. Um, so often too, that money stays within our local community and economy, which is also, well, never more important than now.
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I feel like the Okanagan, we were just getting this fantastic momentum of support local in the last, I would say, year to 2 years.
Hmm.
And some young urban professionals starting to invest their ideas into our community that was previously thought of as a retirement community. And, that rhetoric of it's so expensive, and yes, it can be, but I think we're so privileged in the landscape here that
Yeah.
often what we do for our lifestyle doesn't require a ton of money to go out and enjoy it.
True.
Yeah. So
I've
yeah.
always felt really grateful to have been born here myself, like my parents moved to Kelowna about 2 years or so before I was born, and I just think that the opportunities given to me if I lived still in India would be completely different than if I had lived here. It's a beautiful place, and honestly, like being able to say swim in the summertime, ski in the winter. Amazing. It's amazing. And the variety of people is quite refreshing to have too, given that it's a college town as well, right? We just bring in so many immigrants that we could learn from and just kind of interact with. I think it's an important place for people to grow up.
Oh, I love that. I would agree with you entirely. Yeah.
Yeah, were you born and raised here?
I wasn't actually. I was born and raised Calgary, Alberta, but my husband's grandparents are from Vernon.
Right.
And I grew up from the time I can remember. My dad's best friend lived here in Kelowna. So we spent every summer traveling here, was our family vacation. So we're a family of six. I have 3 siblings. And I remember like it was yesterday, all 6 of us packing into our truck and making, with a bigger family, it takes more time with all of the bathroom breaks. But, our 8 hours from Calgary to here every summer. And those are my fondest memories. And I knew at a very, very young age that I vibrated at the same frequency of the Okanagan Valley. And I always very much felt the most myself and the most creative when I was here. And so I've also been a pretty generous listener to my own self and to those little nuances. And I knew that one day I would want to raise a family here in the Okanagan, and that this would be kind of my forever home.
Right.
And And I feel very lucky and grateful to be in this chapter of my life exactly here. I truly can't imagine traveling through everything that's happening around the globe right now and
Right.
living anywhere but exactly right here. There's nowhere else I would rather be.
I love that. And you don't miss the pace of a
Yeah.
big city or anything like that?
That's a good question. I do. Calgary's a beautiful city, and I think at heart I'll always be a bigger city. I have that mentality too.
Sure, yeah.
Um, but Kelowna is in such a, I mean, I can't speak for where we're headed because there's so many unknowns,
Right.
but Kelowna is so fantastic in kind of how we're growing. And I think it's a really great middle ground between kind of like a bigger city like Vancouver or Calgary or even Toronto. And we have still that small town feel, but we're getting there. We're growing. And like I said, as people are, as our, young innovators are getting more brave, or were before all of the COVID scare, and we were seeing so many incredible ideas invested into our community here, and so many unique spots and businesses popping up,
Yeah.
and that has just driven, especially the tech sector as well, driven some neat growth here. So we're getting there, densifying our downtown and adding all these really neat things. I'm really quite proud of our Okanagan community for so many things. But yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I've been really impressed with how much innovation there has been within Kelowna, and how forward thinking everything is around here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aside from Vancouver, this is one of the largest tech centers within British Columbia. So I'm genuinely really impressed by that. I had no idea. I did not see that coming growing up here and everything. So yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
quite impressed by it. And speaking of like local favorites and everything like that, I wanted to kind of ask you a few questions about like your favorite spots and everything. You could take your time with this, but what's your favorite, say, lunch spot here in Kelowna?
Oh man, that's so tough. I mean, right now, maybe I'll go by. I have so many favorites. I'll go. Maybe I'll position myself of where my days are taking me often right now, and I feel as though because we're situated right beside Sprout Bread, I often find myself having lunch over there.
Mm.
They're two doors down from us. They have created a beautiful space that energetically um, the atmosphere is lovely to have lunch, and the creatives who kind of birthed Sprout into the community are so genuine and kind. And so right now it's awesome for me to be able to just walk out our front doors, and literally 20 steps away is Sprout, and I know I can have a healthy and amazing lunch there with them. So
They
yeah.
do make good food. They're the place with like the two levels, and you can get like the bagels and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, they're a bakery, so they make their bread fresh every single day of only kind of the finest ingredients. Their avocado toast is dangerous and amazing.
Right, right. No,
Yeah.
you can't beat fresh bread. You can't beat it. All
Oh,
right, so lunch is covered. What's your favorite dinner spot?
it depends on your mood. There's so It really depends on your mood. There are so many incredible spots for dinner. Oh, I have to only pick one. Let me think.
I won't be
I,
too
I
mad if you pick two. Just saying.
Okay, I'm a lover of waterfront cafe and catering and waterfront wines. I'm continuously inspired by the flavor profile of everything that's done within that restaurant.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I'm also a big fan of um, I like going to Salt and Brick. I like the location of that spot. And Chef James has been a big supporter of our brand from day one. So I like going in there and seeing him do his thing behind uh, the counter there. And he always gives such incredible service. There are so many, truly. I mean, there are 60 of the on our gift card programs. The majority of the businesses are restaurants,
Mm.
and that is because we have so many fantastic chefs here in the Okanagan who cook, you know, who work hand in hand with our farmers in the agricultural sector to make sure that we're utilizing those, the fresh fruits and vegetables that come right out of our ground here in the Okanagan. So you really can't go wrong in choosing a local restaurant for dinner or lunch or breakfast, because so many of them are just, yeah, that farm to table movement.
True. Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
I love it. I love all that kind of stuff. All right. Are you much of a dessert person?
I love my desserts. Yes.
Do you? What's your favorite place to get dessert?
Carrot chocolate is he's an innovator in all things flavor as well. He's a
Oh,
Paris trained um chocolate like pastry genius. So anything from Julian is always divine. You can never go wrong with QB Gelato. Kevin and Victor are dear friends. And
yeah.
I always think about it in terms of, that how well rounded it is. The product, of course, it has to be delicious, but I appreciate so much walking into a local space and seeing a familiar face and a friendly face in, the team and the business owners from the top down. And Kevin and Victor are just, they exude kindness. This is too funny. I have to show you this. So,
Sure, yeah.
talking about sprout bread, I'm inside the think tank here, and Emma, our shop manager, she's waving a loaf of bread in front of me that's sprout bread. They must have just dropped us off some bread. But that's
Very
exactly
jealous.
how timely, because that is exactly what I mean when I talk about, these chefs and these business owners who have these incredible little spots. But what always blows me away and what inspires me is that level of service and that, that neighborly ethos of we're going to take our shops some bread today, or those those things go such a long way, and I'm always inspired by that, in our business community of entrepreneurs, just lifting each other up and ensuring that we're giving amazing service to our community so that we can be so proud and celebrate that, our small business culture here is so alive in such a unique way right now.
Hmm.
And yeah, parlor ice cream too is so good on the waterfront. There's so many.
Oh man, I love Parlor. I love
Par-
Parlor.
and Omar, like, yeah, there are just so many. There are so many. I feel like we could talk for hours just on, yeah,
On
the
Just
people
Food.
who on just food, and people who put who put their love and their heart into their dishes and their products, and it's like a gravitational pull.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a big thing here. A lot of people in this town are really good at what they do. And so we have awesome, awesome stuff around here. Awesome food, clothing, and music too. All sorts of different things. So yeah, no, it's awesome here. It's great.
Yeah, I attribute it to our community. We have a very conscious community of people who almost demand that of us,
True. Right.
that um, we're accountable to quality. I think anyone who kind of lives here views, you know, adventure in life at a high standard. We're all pretty multidimensional, and I think that's what makes the Okanagan so unique. Is that we're
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely. I'm gonna ask you one final question, and then I'll wrap it up from here.
sure.
Ideal summer day here.
Oh, I love that question. My mind always goes back to my family. Any day in the face of my boys, my husband, whom is my biggest inspiration in life. Any day with him in front of his face, undistracted and single pointed, focused on them outside, either by the lake. It doesn't matter the season. We live it all. We love being up in the mountains in the winter and snowshoeing. Put our boys inside the backpacks and just breathe in that fresh air, or being down at the lake in the sand with, swaying to music, or eating a parlor ice cream cone, or yeah, that my ideal day is one that is single pointed, focused on my family, and outside, living deeply those adventures that we celebrate so much with our brand.
Yeah, beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And was there anything else that you wanted to say to the people out there?
Oh, I feel as though I need a new way in which to say thank you. I feel like thank you hardly suffices in the face of the support that we're seeing from the community right now. But I don't have those words on me right now. So so thank you will have to suffice for now. Because truly it has meant the world to us and inspired us in a way that I could never have imagined. I mean, we're all in such uncharted territories with in the middle of this pandemic, and I we could not have anticipated the level of support that has found us from so many angles and ways, and in both ways, big and small. It all means the world to us. So, to anyone listening who made it this far through, thank you. Is really all I have to say.
Beautiful. I love it. And where can people find your information, your social media, your website, etc.?
Oh, yeah. So our website is okanaganlifestyle.ca, and our Instagram is at Okanagan Lifestyle. Our Twitter, we're not as active there, but we're at OK Life. And then on Facebook, yeah, all of the ways.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
Jaclyn, thank you so much for your time in business here. I appreciate it so much. And thank you to everybody else that's been listening on the podcast. I appreciate your time. And make sure that you follow Jaclyn at Okanagan Apparel. And make sure that you also follow For the Culture Canada on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. And leave a rating if you enjoy the show. And if you don't, also leave a rating. Please let us know. Thank you so much. I'm your host, Deepak Body. Have a good rest of your day, y'all. Bye.